Saber made this video the other day, 2 days ago, called "This DNI strategy is how I have 80% winning on ADC in my last 25 games." So a lot of people just talk about it. I want to check it out. I only watched like a couple, maybe 1 minute here and there at the beginning, and that's it. I don't really know what this video is all about, but I think I can give some intake on this and what my opinion is about what he's about to say.
DNI means do not interact.
Okay.
If you're like me, you're an ADC main who's been struggling to be relevant this season, let alone
Yes, actually, yes, at the start. Now, not really because of the item changes, but at the start, wow.
carry games. My win rate at the beginning of this season was literally 30%. This is what my
Me too.
match history looked like.
Now it's 50%. It's good.
So after this, I got coaching from the rank 1 bot laner, Q-Pick, and I figured out the strategy to win on ADC. I went from this to this.
Magic. It's magic.
Okay. In my last 25 games, I went 20-5. Half of those games were duo with a Thresh main, and my record without duo is 9-2. My 5 losses included a 4-15 mid laner,
Okay.
a jungle who quit at the 2nd minute mark, and a ghost cleanse Yumi.
Nice. That's cool.
Okay.
I haven't gotten one of those in a while.
By the time you finish this video, I promise you will understand what you need to do to carry on ADC, like I clearly have figured out.
Okay, I think I know what this is about. Right? It's about, I'm gonna have my map here as well. I have this nice little map I always use to explain things. And it's basically don't talk about how like you should play with your teammates. You should not play like outnumbered, and it's like tempo in general, right? But let's see.
All right. So DNI is a strategy where you do not interact with the enemy mid, jungle, or top. If you see them on your screen, you don't click towards them unless your team is already fighting them. Okay. One important phrase to keep in mind is if they're on your screen, you are already winning. If you want.
Okay, so one thing here already. Okay. One thing is very important is, let's say, I know he's red side, right? He's red side here. Okay, we're going to use the red B. This is him, right? He's here with his support, for example, right? And it's like, okay, you right now see the enemy bot, right? Cool. It means you can interact, right? Well, in Fog of War, you have this. You really can't interact, right? So, okay, I feel like by you see means you know they're there, okay? Because if you just don't see somebody, you can't assume they're not here. You have to assume they're here. That's number one, right? That's for sure. Probably is going to mention it, hopefully, but we'll see. Let's see.
On the mid wave, they are on your screen. You're already winning. You just need to not die. Okay? So why DNI? This is a clip back before I understood this. I am a 3-item Caitlyn fighting a 1-in-5 Wukong. I literally hit everything, and I still died. Okay.
Okay. I mean, yeah, this is, you know, like people always say like ADCs are like, I'm fed. I have like 3 bloody items. Wukong has like 1 item, right? But why the hell is he winning against me? Because this is the ADC class. Okay. This is the class we're playing. We're playing glass cannon. Okay. Most of the time glass. The cannon part, maybe after 3 items, right? But before that, we're just glass. Okay. That's what we need to get to understand, right? You cannot go melee 1v1 somebody. If you're 1v1ing somebody melee, you're gonna lose. It doesn't matter how bad he is, how good you are gonna lose. It's the part of the game. It's how it's supposed to be. Because you have the range advantage. That range is OP. Having insane range in League of Legends is so overpowered. If you don't use it, you have nothing anymore, right? That's the thing.
Here's another clip from yesterday. I walked up to Kennen to defend the pink, and I just lost my entire health bar for free. This one's a funny one. Kennen literally...
Cool. About this, right? I walk to Kennen and lose my entire health bar, right? So here, I think he's gonna say, right? You know, seeing Kennen equals win because Cho pushes bot for free. Remember to don't interact, right? Okay. Replace Kennen with Samira. And Pantheon is the support, I think. And Kennen is mid. Should we interact then? No. You know why? Let's draw this on the map. This is actually a great example to draw on the map. And I'll show you this. We have people here. Okay. Who's midlaner here? Cannon, right? Fiora there. Enemy jungler. I don't even know where are they. Enemy jungler could be anywhere. Doesn't matter. Whatever, right? And your jungler is top. Cool, right? So this concept, right, that is explaining, I refer to it as tempo and tempo lines. I use lines, right? Being on tempo, on the front tempo line, means you're participating in the game, right? And here, if you draw the front tempo line, it's like if you are fighting Fiora, fighting around here, or trying to push bot to get turret or whatever, right? You're actually on tempo, you're doing good things, you know, you're doing good things. I think Cho'Gath is, yeah, he's around here, somewhere, yeah, right? So it's like, okay, Cho'Gath is a bit off tempo, whatever he's gonna push, he's gonna get objectives, you know, cool, right? So as long as you're on this line, you're doing productive things. But in this case as well, you know, like, Graves, right, he's behind tempo, Cho'Gath a little bit behind tempo, he's not quite there yet, not hitting turret yet, right? And if you look at enemies, it's like enemies, you know, they have 3 mid, their jungler could be anywhere. They're kind of on tempo, you know. Here you just don't go do anything because you're not playing together, not on tempo together, right? And also, what he's saying here as well, if you don't fight here, because fighting here could be 2 versus 4, sure, 2 versus 3, or 3v4, sorry, or 4v5, whichever is bad for you, because this is here. And when you see this, you legit don't fight. It doesn't matter who they are. This could be any. These blobs you can switch around however you want. It doesn't matter. What's important is you don't fight here, because if you don't fight here, enemies sit around here and do nothing, you're already winning because this guy's pushing, right? But it doesn't matter that the fact that that's cannon. You can replace cannon with Samira and it's literally incorrect to go anyway, right? That's what's important about this. So in a way, Saber is explaining the same concept I teach to people as well, but in a different way. And that's so cool because it's so amazing that we can explain one thing in multiple ways. And I'm sure there's multiple other ways to explain it as well. And I find that to be so amazing and cool. It's really cool to see that.
And I just lost my entire health bar for free.
Oh, yeah.
This one's a funny one. Cannon literally just instantly kills me. Yeah. When you see him, you're winning. You just need to run away.
Okay, here, right? Look at this. Great example. Okay, you see this? You see this? Like your teammates here are behind already in tempo. Look, they're behind there. You're sitting here by yourself. You replace cannon with anybody, it's still not that great because like they could just jump on you anyway. You know, it's like you need to wait, right? You don't hit minions here. You just chill, wait for trash to walk up. Your teammates to walk up, then you can go. Doesn't even matter who it is. You're just walking alone. That's the problem here. Walking alone without your team, right?
Kills me. Yeah. When you see him, you're winning. You just need to run away. No, don't try and trap and fight him. Or...
But it's important to know, like, sometimes the unseen enemy is the deadliest. Okay, if you don't see cannon here, and you don't see other enemies, you still can't walk up until your Cho'Gath and Graves are closer to you. Because those 3 could be here, even though you don't see them. So you just wait for the wave to push into, you grab the wave and go with your team. Right? That's the thing. You can't rely on what you see in League. The unseen enemy is the deadliest. You just assume. You don't see somebody. If you don't see someone, you assume they're here. And you play accordingly. If you go here to catch these waves like 2v3, you don't catch the wave. You wait for your team. Wait for your team, it's 4v3 because 2 enemies are top, now you go. Right? That's the thing.
And fight him or whatever. Okay? So, if you start an interaction as ADC, you will be stat checked and you will lose 9 times out of 10.
Especially, like, it's like if you have your support, for example, right? And they can CC and so on, yeah, you can hit from side so sure. But, you know, if you hit a Wukong or a cannon, that can just close the gap. Your range is useless, right? Of course you're going to lose, right? You can do that, for sure. I agree with you.
So that begs the question, what
right?
do you...
You're just not going to win. You get stat checked. Yeah, 100%. Of course. If they close the gap, you're dead. Yeah, that's ADC. That's the class we are playing, right? ADCs are good in teamfights, bad at 1v1s. Yeah, it's 100% correct. I agree with you, yeah.
Do instead? And when can you interact? So you can interact when they dive you and you have some style play, or your team is already interacting with them and you can help, or you have hit your item spikes and you can fight them on equal terms. Side note, treat your sums as a way to win a forced
I mean, okay.
interaction, aka them ganking you or engaging on you. Wasting enemy mid jungle top time / outplaying them is winning the game for your team. It's extremely good. For example,
Okay, so this thing about like I feel like Saber always does this. Like it's something he likes doing. It's like he likes to bait enemies. You know, it's like you bait the enemy. You know, you just waste their time. You have summoners, you let them engage on you and stuff. And they're kind of wasting their time and baiting them. But it's very risky, you know. And instead of doing that, right, this can go here. Here is like, you know, like this fight, for example, right? Do you have to take this fight and waste your summoners? You know, it's like your mid is pushing, your top is pushing, they have ults. And jungle is here, jungle is doing Drake. Actually, 2 enemies are dead, never mind, right? Instead, you could just run away. Don't bait anything, just get out, get out. Because you're already winning. You don't have to bait or do anything, right?
Engaging on you. Wasting enemy mid jungle top time / outplaying them.
But in this case, that's exactly what he does, right? He's good, right? This is a great example of him doing it.
Is
well, right?
winning the game for your team. It's extremely
Right?
good.
But if he ever like tries to go in intentionally, like to bait, to use his flash that way, I feel like that's a bit crazy and hard for the average player to do. In this case, he did everything perfectly. I agree with it.
You can bait enemy gank bot, and then you flash away from them, wasting their time while your jungle does something useful, like do an objective or kill solo laners.
This is like you waste their time, you use your flash for that. It's like, right, it's kind of, I don't know. It's hard to do as an average player. That's all. It's very hard to do consistently.
So here's the strategy part. Okay, this is what you do. Treat League as a minigame where your objective is to get the wave as soon as possible, and the enemy's objective is to interact with you to stop you from farming by forcing an engage. So you can do one of two things. One, push the wave first and be ready for the interaction.
Okay, so I agree with the like treat the game like a minigame. I always say like League is basically a turn-based game. It's an ADC. You go mid, you grab the wave, and then it's your turn to do something. You got the wave, you have like 30 seconds, you can do whatever, go with your team, whatever, get a camp, recall, you have so many options. 30 seconds later, you're back to mid lane, you grab the wave again, and repeat. That's ADC, right? For sure. No, but you just gotta pay attention to tempo while you do it, right? You get mid wave, if the tempo looks okay, you have your teammates, or there's no enemies around, because you see enemies are on silence and stuff, right? Then okay, sure, we can grab the wave, right? It's all good, right? And then after you grab the wave, you look around, see what you do.
Be ready to kite the interaction, run away. This is going to be jungle gank showing up when you try and push mid, or enemy solo showing up in your lane. You can prepare flash, whatever. Or B, catch the wave second.
Yeah. So this is what I advise people to do as well. Instead, let's say you have summoners, right? You don't like try to catch the wave and then try to bait out the enemies to engage and then flash out. You could just let enemies push the wave, you catch the wave after. It's safer to do. You keep your summoners for like a team fight where maybe they're more useful, right?
In the mid game, we always get the first wave and then we move. No exception. There are exceptions to every rule, but in the last 25 games, I pretty much almost always got the wave first.
Okay, I agree with this. So this is another thing. This is a question I get so many times. It's like, my teammates are starting that fight already, but I didn't push mid yet. Right? So I have an example. I think it's going to take me a long time to find it, but I'll draw it on the map, right? This is why like pushing mid without caring, right? Teammates do whatever, I don't care. I just push mid, okay? Is amazing because this is me right here, the blue dot, red dot. And it's like my teammates were calling Atakan, enemies are going towards Atakan, it's late game, right? And here it's like inhibitor turret is up and the Nexus turrets and everything is up. It happened like a few days ago. And I'm legit ignoring what they say. I get mid wave, right? I push this and I blow the end of the game, right? Like pushing mid wave gives you so many options. First of all, you just don't lose the waves, right? Because you need items to scale to deal damage. It's amazing. Second of all, you have the options to like keep going, right? And especially if you like get out from base and you're here, and it's like a fight happening topside-ish or whatever they're preparing. It's hard to follow. Especially another bad situation is, you know, like you just push mid, enemy ADC pushes mid, and it's like now they go follow through the river like this, right? And it's like, how do I join this? I flank the enemy as an ADC? It's like, it's so awkward, right? No, you push mid. You just go. The teammates are smart. They take it slow, take it easy. And then eventually they cancel recalls, you legit end the game, right? It's insane. You know, if any teammates are not smart and they still fight anyway, at least better than just trying to flank and dying, you just got stuff done. You get this, you can't end, you go take the red buff, jungle camps, you're like 1,000 gold ahead now. It's insane, right? So I agree with what I'm saying here.
Then I move to help. You can.
And sure, sometimes, you know, I heard Jack Spectra say this, because he made a video about how to like climb out of every division. And he said, like, if you want like Grandmaster and Challenger, for example, right? Up until then, go catch midwave every time without fail, don't care. Be selfish, get resources for yourself. But if you want like GM Challenger, sometimes you need to skip a wave, because the fight could be more important. But that's like for such a small percentage of league players. I tell people, bro, get on midwave, I don't care what you're doing, and then go do something else. Wave first, you're an ADC, you rely on the wave. The wave dictates if you can move or not. That's it, right?
Can interact if your team interacts with them first, though. So let's say, for example, you got the wave and a team fight has broken out, then you can help. Why do we do this strategy? It's because the goal of this strategy is to get to the point where we have levels and items to finally interact with the rest of the enemy team on equal terms. Usually this is 3 items for ADC, but it depends on your champion item spikes. Yeah. And mages bot lane, they spike at 1 item or...
Okay, but one thing I want to add here, because I've seen this and something I don't agree with, is the fact that, you know, I have 3 items, I can fight now. But it's like, before 3 items, can't you fight before 3 items? I mean, why not? If it's a good fight, right, you should fight. You should only look. Oh, you should count how many allies I have or how many enemies. If an enemy is not on the map, you count the enemy here. It's 4v4, okay, maybe we could fight. 3v4 or something, 4v5, okay, we don't fight, we do something else, right? Don't look at your items. Your items are like, whatever. Save it gold when you recall. Don't necessarily recall for an item, because if you recall while teammates are doing Drake, it's like you're inting, right? You can't recall for an item if teammates are Drake, and stuff like that, right? So you gotta be smart about this. Like, don't be over-obsessed over items. That's very important. Your presence alone is more important than anything, no matter what.
Even half an item, so you could probably low-key start interacting with the enemy team extremely early if you play a mage. That's why mages are so broken bot. Part of the reason why they're so broken bot. But yeah, for the...
I mean, kind of disagree with this. Again, like, items, sure, yeah. But if the fight is good, you don't need items. You win it anyway. Like, you being there is important.
Most ADC...
It's not like you should just avoid all the fights before 3 items. If you do that, it's like your teammates play 4v5 and game's over. Yeah, it's not good.
It's gonna be 3 items, okay? When you are finally strong enough at 3 items with levels, then you can start looking to interact with the enemy top, jungle, mid. You just got to make sure to do your damage and outplay their damage.
Yeah, again, like, I don't have to agree with everything he says. I think he's a good player. But this, I just disagree with, you know? Yeah, I agree we are stronger at 3 items, but man, like, you just don't over-obsess over the number of items you have, you know? It's like, don't take the bad fights, take the good fights, no matter what items you have. That's all. Don't overthink it, you know? Just simplify the game for yourself.
Okay, so I showed the DNI video to my chat, and they said it would be good if I showed an example game of what it should look like. Okay, so I'm gonna round out the end of the video by...
Don't want to watch this whole thing example game. I feel like he explains it, and I think we could actually like skip to a couple examples, right? Here he goes over early game and stuff. I think you should watch his video instead if you want to see the whole thing. I just want to give my perspective on like the initial part, right? It's cool that he explains this tempo concept, right? With the tempo lines that will always draw, right? Tempo lines and stuff, and playing with your teammates and counting allies, enemies. He explains basically the same thing in my opinion, except in a way gamifies. It makes it a bit easier to understand for some people, right? Because some people like to understand these concepts. It's easier for them to understand the concepts if they have like set rules and, how do I say it, like mini game stuff in their head always. You know, it's like, oh, these mages here, we be careful. You know, it's like we don't interact, right? Don't interact with them. I'm not strong enough, right? And I agree with most of what he said, except the 3 item spike, whatever. Like, yeah, you are strong, but you wanna fight the fights that are good, of course, no matter what items you have, right? So yeah, honestly, great video, right? If you haven't watched this, I'll link it in chat for you guys. Give it a like. I think he did a good job with this. And I'm sure he explains these examples really well here. But if you're interested, just go watch it yourself, right? That's all I want to talk about this. Good job, honestly, great, right? And I feel like a lot of people need to understand this. They need to understand the fact that ADC is a very different role than the other roles, okay? ADCs are just very fragile. You need to play very safe. You make one mistake, you're dead, okay? But you also need to understand you sign up for this. If you don't like it, then ADC is not for you. Like, come on. You play like artillery in World of Tanks if you guys played it. It's like very mobile, but you have good range and good damage, and you're squishy. Yeah, that's the role. Enemies have flash and 3 dashes. I know, it's bullshit, but it is what it is. This is the game, you know? It's the game, okay? It's the game. So yeah, hopefully you see ADC in a better view right now, hopefully. Because I feel like ADC is such a fun role, but it's very misunderstood, basically, right? And I feel like a lot of ADC players are very entitled. It's like, hey, my items have damage, but I can't kill anyone, I just get one shot. Yeah, I mean, that's the role. Hello, it is what it is, you know? Yeah, okay, great video, great video.